It's the rate rise sequel struggling families have been dreading.
This will be very difficult news for all of those Australians who are already facing the skyrocketing costs of living.
The Reserve Bank today delivering our first back-to-back interest rate rise in 12 years, upping the official cash rate by another 50 basis points to 0.85%.
So this is bigger than people thought. We knew the interest rates were going to go up, but this is perhaps more and faster. I think the Reserve Bank here doesn't want to be accused of doing too little, too late to rein in inflation.
The rise will see mortgage holders shell out an extra $133 a month for a $500,000 loan. And there's more pain to come, with the official cash rate tipped to hit between 1.75% and 2% by Christmas.
If that happens, someone with a $500,000 mortgage today could see their monthly repayments increase by $442 a month.
There are some silver linings.
As the cash rate keeps climbing, it will apply a handbrake on our property market.
The winners will be people who save money. As the rates go up, they're able to give more money to people who have deposits.
But that's cold comfort for the 44% of Aussie households already under mortgage stress, a number now tipped to rise to almost 50% of households by the end of the year.
This is a really difficult time in the economy. We're going to see pressure building for quite some time before there's any relief. Interest rates, inflation, global supply chains, all of these things have mixed in together, and it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Well, Treasurer Jim Chalmers joins us now. Jim, 0.5% is the biggest rate rise since February 2000. It's obviously a huge hit for a lot of families watching tonight. I know you're going to say you didn't cause this, but it is your job to fix it. What are you going to do?
Well, it is a difficult day, Hamish. You're right about that. You know, a lot of people are already facing skyrocketing cost of living pressures, and this will add to the pain. And so even though an interest rate rise today was expected, it doesn't make it any easier. So our responsibility as the new government is to make sure that we've got a plan to grow the economy without adding to these inflationary pressures, to get real wages moving again, and to make sure that the budget recognises these pressures that are on inflation at the moment, so that all of our investments are about getting an economic dividend. Those are our responsibilities, but first and foremost to acknowledge and be upfront with people. This inflation problem that we've inherited is a really serious one, and today's interest rates decision reflects that.
But Treasurer, just how much of an impact can you have? What levers are at your disposal realistically?
Well, a couple of things that we are doing, and you'll see this in the October budget that I hand down with Katie Gallagher, is all about investing wisely in growing the economy so it's got more capacity to grow without adding to inflation. So that's why investments in skills and childcare and in advanced manufacturing and the NBN, those kinds of investments are really important, but also making sure we get wages growing sustainably so people can keep up with the cost of living without adding to that inflation. And we've also got $1 trillion of debt in the budget that we've inherited, and so we've got to make sure that we've got something to show for all of that. Those are our responsibilities to deal with those three challenges. That's what our economic plan is all about, and you'll see that implemented in October.
Jim, I'm just wondering what your message actually is to people watching at home tonight that are not worried about 6 months, 12 months, 18 months' time, but actually worried about next month. Like, are you saying to them, hold out? Just weather this storm, it's going to be okay?
Well, Hamish, I'm just trying to be upfront with your viewers that we understand and acknowledge that this is a really difficult time. You've got spiking energy prices, grocery prices are through the roof as well. We've got high and rising inflation. There's some cost of living relief already in the budget around petrol prices and the like, which we supported in the last budget of the last government. And our responsibility is to make sure that when that support runs out, that there's responsible and sustainable cost of living relief that comes in after that in areas like childcare and medicines, power bills over time, getting real wages growing again. That's why those are central elements of our economic plan, and that's why they will be central elements of the budget that I hand down.
Sorry to interrupt you, Jim, but I mean, all the stuff you're talking about, whether it's settling inflation, settling the interest rates, getting things feeling a little more steady, that's quite long term. And there will be people watching this tonight that are genuinely quite scared or worried about whether when they come off their fixed rate, they're going to be able to refinance. I think something like half of mortgage holders are going to be under mortgage stress quite soon, according to the forecast. Are you saying to those people, hold your nerve because we will turn this around? Is that actually your message?
We will get to the other side of these really extreme price pressures in the economy, Hamish. I do believe that. But I also respect the Australian public enough to be upfront with them and say that this inflation problem in the economy is going to get more difficult before it gets easier again. Today's decision by the Reserve Bank is really recognition and a reflection of that. There's no use tiptoeing around these challenges or mincing words or trying to pretend them away. A lot of these challenges in our economy have been building for the best part of a decade. They will take more than 2.5 weeks of a new government to address. We need to be upfront about that. If we could just flick a switch and make inflation disappear or make $1 trillion of debt disappear, we would have already done it. We want to be honest with people and take them on a journey, engage them on a big national conversation about these economic challenges. We will get to the other side of this. You're right that a lot of people are feeling very anxious about this interest rate rise. Not everybody has a buffer in their home loans, even though some people do. And so we acknowledge that as well.
You know, I know that you've got a plum job. Being Treasurer is like a great job, ostensibly, but from where I sit, it doesn't seem like a very good job. It seems like a really hard, difficult job. How is it?
Well, it is a great opportunity, Kate, and I'm grateful for it. And it's an area I've worked in now for really the best part of 15 years or so. And so I know that there are difficult days in this job, but far more difficult for people who are facing these cost of living pressures. I put my hand up to do this job because I think I've got something to offer. Some days are better than others, but most important and always front of mind for me will be what this job means for real people in real communities right around the country.
It's a beautiful answer, Jim. It's a bit of a fluffy question, I have to say. I want to bring it back to some harder politics, Jim. The cost of living crisis has gotten so bad that KFC has been forced to put cabbage on its burgers instead of lettuce because lettuce is too expensive. Jim, you're 2.5 weeks into government. Are you up for the job to tackling the KFC lettuce crisis, Jim? Because Australians don't deserve cabbage on their zingers.
Can I just say something about that, Pete, just between you and me? I had no idea that the Dirty Bird had cabbage or lettuce available there. I don't think anybody lines up. Anybody lines up at the KFC drive-through for green food, do they?
Are you still with the Labor Party? How did you get into the Labor Party?
I don't see them lined up through the drive-through for cabbage or lettuce, to be honest. I don't think that's people's most pressing priority when they're in the drive-through.
Well, my priority is lettuce and chicken salt. Get on the chicken salt, Jim, trust me.
Treasurer, thanks for your time tonight. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone.